What will happen by 2050? If you are less than 50 years old, you have some chance of seeing the year 2050. You should be interested in what will happen by 2050. Even if you think you'll no longer be around by then, you'll still have a reason to be interested in the common question: what will the world be like in the future? Many of us have grand retirement plans. You may be in for a rude shock if you ignore the future predictions, as the world may have changed tremendously from what you envisioned. For you to capture in your plans the realities that may dawn on all of us in the future, you've got to know what will happen by 2050, which is just 3 decades away. Our Earth by 2050. A lot of fascinating as well as terrifying changes will have taken place by the time we are welcoming the year 2050. Some of the awesome things will happen in the sphere of grandiose space missions. The multiple manned voyages to Mars and the Moon would no longer be a dream. Power blocks are not relenting in their technology, power, and nuclear drives. What will happen by 2050 to all that? Would the countries of the world have made the complete transition from fossil fuel and coal to solar and electric sources? Expected key events between 2022 and 2050. 2022. Qatar will host the FIFA World Cup competition. Beijing, China will host the Winter Olympics while the country plans on constructing its first space station. 2023. There will not be copyrights on the earliest Mickey Mouse cartoons again, as it would have expired. 2024. SpaceX ostensibly plans to launch its first rocket that will be carrying cargoes to Mars. The Fehmarn Belt fixed link will have come to completion, hence a direct railway and highway links between Germany and Denmark. 2025. The giant Magellan telescope will be ready for use as the largest observatory in the world so far. The resolution power will be 10 times the Hubble Space Telescope. The UK coal power plants will be completely phased out. 2026. The construction work of the Catalan Cathedral Sagrada Familia, which started way back in 1882, will finally be completed. SpaceX is likely to launch the first ever manned mission to Mars according to their current schedule. 2027. The first ever set of humans will walk on Mars. The full autopsy report of Elvis Presley's death will be made public. It has been agreed that it should be made confidential for 50 years following his death. 2028. The city of Los Angeles, California will host the Summer Olympics. 2029. There will be a high-speed rail line connecting San Francisco and Los Angeles in just 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2030. China will actualize plans on launching its manned mission to the moon. 2031. This year, Russian cosmonauts will likely be launched on the moon. 2036. There will be a breakthrough star shot, namely sending a tiny spacecraft to the Alpha Centauri star system. This is the nearest star system to Earth. Inside the solar system, there is a planet known as Proxima Centauri, believed to be home to some alien life. 2037. This year's summer can be the first without any ice in the Arctic. 2040. There will be a complete ban on the sale of gasoline and diesel vehicles in France. There will be around 9 billion people in the world. European ancestry may become a minority group in the United States. The first trillionaire in the world may emerge. 2044. The hitherto private works of J.R.R. Tolkien, such as The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, will be in the public domain. 2045. This will be the year of the technological singularity. The implication of this is that artificial intelligence, AI, will surpass human intelligence, leading to huge and unforeseen societal changes. 2048. There will be a review of the Antarctic Treaty, leading to the opening up of mining and oil industries on the continent. 2050. Deforestation would likely have eaten up half of the Amazon rainforests. About 70% of the world's inhabitants will be city dwellers. About half the world's population may not have access to clean potable water. The global average life expectancy may be 76 years. Super smart artificial intelligence, even smarter than humans, will be here. Cars will drive themselves, and that will likely be the norm. A new world of hundreds or even thousands of people will be walking, working, and living on Mars. More shocking reality that the year 2050 may bring. More surveillance. Judging from how accessible, available, and cheap digital monitoring is becoming, those complaining about government surveillance will be in for a rude shock if they are alive in 2050, because corporations and governments will have advanced from bad to worse in surveillance. No one will be able to do anything to stop it then. Cryptocurrencies will take over. Some economists predict that Bitcoin will stand in the current position of dollars following the next economic crisis that is looming. In 1 to 3 years from now, when the world will be recovering from a major economic crisis, most nations will look in the direction of crypto. While it may take longer for that to happen, by or before 2050, people will be viewing dollars, pounds, and other fiat monies as we currently view cowries and shells. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few other cryptocurrencies will be the medium of exchange for goods and services. Biological immortality will be possible. By that time, there will be specific medical treatments that will be able to prolong a healthy human lifespan until possibly eternity, and death will be only by choice. This doesn't swallow up death because our bodies cannot become indestructible. Accidents, wars, and other traumas will still snuff the lives out of humans, and our bodies will remain destructible. But with life support technology, cell reproduction, and herbal treatments, immortality will be possible by 2050. Radical birth control will be here. As the world is struggling to curb overpopulation, which is caused by the high birth rate, especially in the third world countries, governments worldwide by 2050 will be forced to be more radical with birth control, even though it will be criticized. While most Western countries have already achieved a low birth rate by dropping it to 2 children per couple, developing countries will still plague the world with overpopulation. If the death rate in advanced countries continues to decrease, governments may forcefully sterilize every couple after having the first child and criminalize having a second. Super AI will transcend human intelligence. With supercomputing powers doubling every 2 years, computers will be 60,000 times faster by 2050. This will lead to the creation of super artificial intelligence smarter than humans many folds. Judging by the rate things are going, this will happen much earlier than 2050. Therefore, by 2050, non-human intelligence will be everywhere and computers will think and behave like humans. We lose most of our jobs to robots. As robotic engineers are not resting on their oars after the big feats they have achieved, robots will be capable of performing tasks previously performed by humans. They're already doing our cooking, waiting, and barbing. By 2050, these will no longer be newsworthy items, as they'll have become commonplace. Robots will have taken up the jobs of many artisans, technicians, and craftsmen. When robots take our jobs and replace the human workforce, many people, especially the poorly educated, will be out of jobs and unable to support themselves. There will be a surge in the number of poor people unable to reach the most basic standard of living. There will be, at the same time in 2050, super rich individuals with the ability to own everything. Some rich countries may be able to expand their social security to provide basic means of living for their poorest citizens. But in countries already impoverished by bad governments, there will be no fund for that, and survival will be tough. In richer countries, cost services and products will become so cheap by 2050 since cheaper labor is available through robots. Many physical interactions will be replaced by robotic interactions. By 2050, we will have robots that will be advanced like assistant humans. Servant and sex robots will be available. Their design will be more human-like such that humans living by 2050 will have their needs and desires satisfied by interacting with robots rather than humans for fear of betrayal. Personal robots will be considered more loyal than fellow humans, even though those robots will have been programmed with their own will, which is to serve humans who have their passwords. Humans will no longer need to consider the feelings and desires of those they interact with, as robots lack these. There will be no compromise, and you can always have your way by avoiding human-to-human interaction, which is difficult to manage. Humans' interaction will be largely happening in virtual reality. Now that the world is distancing and moving with the growth and excellence of virtual reality, many more of our daily activities will take place in the virtual world. By 2050, we will be playing our games and watching our movies virtually. Most of our time will be spent on virtual traveling to meeting people using our avatars. The romance between couples will be virtual. Those alive by 2050 will resemble movie surrogates, but only without a second life. If you hope to live till then, these are what will happen by 2050 that you will see based on the activities and projections of trailblazers. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.